Yeah. Yeah. Let me take you on a day. We ain't got a way. Tell me if you got an ex nigga in the way.
Hi guys, welcome to Talking Sporty with Brittany Bets and P. Of course, I'm P.
Hi, Brittany Bets here.
And of course, we have a special guest, Ryan from LAFB. Hi, Ryan.
What's up? I don't know about special guests, but always happy to chat with you fine ladies. So excited to
talk
ball. What's happening? How are we doing?
You are a special guest.
Special twice. Special guest.
Right. He's a fill-in and an addition. Like special.
Yeah. No. I don't really know why I'm here on this episode, but I'm happy to be here. So thank you.
Because it's week 1 and we wanted you to be a part of the team.
Okay. Well, good. Well, yes. I mean, how great is it? Football's back. College obviously has been going on, but pro is officially back. What do you guys think of the weekend?
That it went as exactly how I thought is obviously a lie. We could start with the obvious, right? But yeah, I'm glad I didn't place any bets because I would have lost all my money. Let's just say that.
Let's start there. I mean,
so no bets. Okay, go Britt.
I'm broke. Brittany Bets is broke for the season. Like,
give me your worst beat because I'll give you mine from this weekend.
My worst beat was, I'll get back to you. No, it's something by like half of a yard or something, and but here's the thing: the reason why my mind is so clouded is because I probably played like way too many things, and it's like, which one was it? But yeah, week 1 was brutal for me in the bets, but now I know.
My worst beat, and I know we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers later, but my worst beat was I had a 6-leg parlay from Saturday to Monday, so I had college, pro, and or college and pro. All 5 legs hit. My final leg was Aaron Rodgers plus 3.5 rushing yards. It's one scramble, plus 3.5, and he obviously goes out in the 4th play of the game. So
does that reboot though, or
no? I could have. I had the opportunity to cash out before the Jets game for my 5, and I could have just cashed out left. But I was like, it's 3.5 rushing yards. He's gonna run one scramble, one first down run.
Yeah. I did see. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I believe it was Underdog Fantasy had the 0.5 yards. I think it was passing yards, and we hit that.
Yes,
they had a deal on
that. If you went for ruptured Achilles 0.5, you would have taken the over on that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that obviously a lot of the things that happened, none of us could have guessed it.
I found my bad beat.
Go ahead.
It was Thursday, which, mind you, maybe you guys don't know, but I have a rule where I'm not supposed to bet on Thursdays. Like, I don't bet on Thursdays, but Deontay's like, it's week 1. Like, come on, like, start the season off right. So we're like, okay. So it was a 2-leg parlay with Harrison Butker, the kicker for Kansas City, over 1.5 kicks. I told you guys, over 1.5 kicks. And field goals made, and Jared Goff to have a fantasy score of 16.5. His fantasy score was
14, I believe.
Well, at the time it was 16.3, and then they adjusted it to 16. But it's like, Goff letting me down again. So,
my boy JG let you down. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't. I guess you could start with that, right? Like, who did you guys? And don't lie, did you guys have the Lions winning on Thursday?
Kind of.
I did actually.
Did you?
I wasn't confident in it, but I think just because I hate the Chiefs, so I took the Lions. And there's a lot of hype around the Lions. Obviously, they got some great players. I thought they had a good draft once the dust settled, and the Chiefs, lost players in the offseason. No Travis Kelce, and so
no Chris Jones.
You never want to bet again. Yeah, no Chris Jones.
Jones is watching from a suite with bodyguards that are his agents. It was just like, it just didn't feel like it was going to be the same Chiefs team, that was going to get out there and just dominate. So like the plus 4.5 looked really, really good. And I had a really good feeling that they were going to for sure cover it or win the game. Like weeks leading up to it. And then just with all those things happening, it just was like, that's the play. And then all the money was on Kansas City. So sharps were playing, Detroit probably like crazy.
Yeah, I think that trick play, I think that just decided how the rest of the weekend was gonna go. I just thought like, is this is what we're doing? And then obviously the game ended, and then of course we had an insane weekend. So I think week one.
The week started like with Jared Goff playing pretty well, like winning a game against Patrick Mahomes, like basically the opposite of how you expected this season to start. Patrick Mahomes didn't look Patrick Mahomes-esque, like his receivers were dropping balls left and right. Like it just didn't look like the defending Super Bowl hangover type of thing, but still it didn't look like the Chiefs that we know. So that should have definitely gave us an idea of how the weekend was going to go, because didn't go hard.
Can I say one thing about Mahomes and get your guys' opinion? So, like, I'll be honest. Like, I respect the hell out of Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in football, but I always am a little, like, uneasy with just the absolute gargling of whatever you want to call it that he gets around the league. I don't know what I want to say, but the praise that he gets is like, okay, we get how good he is, but there's a lot of factors at play here. I can't remember, and I could be wrong, but it seemed like, and it's absolutely true, like his receivers let him down, but that was the excuse everyone was saying. Even Mike Tirico put the asterisk at the end of the game for the Lions winning, and other quarterbacks get that all the time where the receivers let them down, and it's just like, well, that's part of the game. You got to learn how to overcome that and whatnot. So that just rubbed me the wrong way, how Mahomes can literally do no wrong. Even when he loses, it wasn't his fault. His team let him down. Whereas every other quarterback is like, got to overcome that. That's the NFL for you. You gotta rise above. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think you're right, Ryan, in a sense. I think he does get treated like, he's just Teflon, like I see that. I do see him getting excused a lot. Is it justified sometimes? No. But at the end of the day, like, I hate to do this, you guys. I hate to do this, but I seen somebody compare him to Steph Curry, and I see the correlation. I see it. It's somebody. Well,
go on.
Would he had he accomplished this much with Andy Reid? We'll never know, right? That's one of the greatest coaches in the game. But I think that because he's done so much at such a young age, and unfortunately or fortunately, like Steph Curry, he has somehow changed the game of football in a way, in my opinion. And so I think that's why he gets like this, I guess, he gets held to a different standard than everybody else. I do agree, though, that like there are these quarterbacks that have to take the full blame, right? That's the pain behind the position. But I do think that other folks deserve the same grace as him, but have they accomplished as much as he has? No. So,
yeah. I mean,
accomplished, like you're talking about accomplished like MVPs and 2 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah, like nothing like,
he has the most rings in the league right now next to Jimmy G. But Jimmy G didn't even play for those. But Matthew Stafford deserves a lot of respect. We'll get into like the Rams and everything, but his resume is good. Like he has a ring. He's like, I don't know what his number is, but he's top 25 probably in passing yards, right? Wouldn't you think? Like at this point in his career, and like
he's like top like 15, yeah.
He's like top 10 leaders in like fourth quarter drive comebacks, and he still has a cannon. So, and the 2 receivers in the league that hold the record for the most yards in the season, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Johnson, both Matthew Stafford receivers. Right. So, put some respect on some other quarterback's name. I don't think that Pat may be the king because of what he's doing right now, but there's some other guys out there.
Yeah. I think I totally agree with you guys. I just think that unfortunately, that, like I said, he gets protected in a different way, held to a different standard than everybody else. And yeah,
moving along to Pat's arch nemesis, Joe Burrow, the highest paid quarterback in the league. Yucky. He had 82 yards. 82 yards. Yucky. Passing, not rushing, guys. Yeah. Passing.
I don't listen to a lot of like national, like first take. I don't listen to all those. So you guys will have to inform me. Did he get ripped apart for that performance, or was it kind of the same as Mahomes? Like, oh, the whole team looked bad. They just weren't really prepared. Because I mean, he should get ripped apart.
I will say personally, and this could be a bias thing, maybe just my timeline, I don't know. I saw a lot of more like just like overall slander for like actually anybody but him. And the only like reasoning that I would see behind or any like excuse that I would see was like, oh, the Browns have their number. The Browns have their number. Like that's just what it is. And it's just like, well, this guy is supposed to be top 3, top 4 in the league. Is it good enough to just say the Browns have their number? Like, I mean, that could be said for a lot of teams then, you know?
I caught some snippets of First Take, and they were pretty much asking are we worried about Joe Burrow? 82 yards, just got this contract. He didn't really practice. And that was like the main reason as to why they said that they weren't worried. They're like, he missed quite a bit of practice with an injury. I don't know, is it a calf injury? And he hasn't really had many reps with the team, but I'm not worried. I think they brought up the record last season. Their first 2 games, they lost those 2. So it's kind of like, he's just getting his feet wet and, working out the kinks, putting a little WD-40 on everything, and they'll be fine. But I mean, saw a lot of people blaming the O-line. We thought that they fixed the O-line issues there, and they're like, can they fix the O-line? It's just people put a blame everywhere, but that 82 yards.
Well, I mean, when you look at the whole weekend, it was for the Golden Boys, the NFL in general is bad. Mahomes lost. Josh Allen lost and threw 3 picks. Joe Burrow, 82 yards lost. Justin Herbert lost with an opportunity to win at the end of the game. Like all of them didn't look great. They all lost.
Lamar didn't lose, but he just had
he's not a golden boy
he's a golden boy to me.
To me too, but not the league. Okay, thank you.
But they're in like
he's up there. He's in.
Yeah, but
they give Lamar absolutely no respect. Like they talk about his arm, the capability or lack thereof that they say he has, and it's just a lot of slander on his name. Yeah, let Lamar have had a night like Josh Allen had.
Ooh,
forget it.
I'm waiting to talk about this.
Forget it. But yeah. That's not even. The Vikings let me down. I really thought that they were going to go out and prove something, but I don't know. But it's still week 1. It's still week 1. Like
I feel like because it is week 1, we're allowed to overreact though.
There's going to be just that's all it is overreaction.
Yeah. What else can we do? But I love Kirk Cousins. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know why. I love Kirk Cousins. Did you guys watch The Quarterback on Netflix?
I did.
Like, come on, Mr. Like Midwest, like just a family dude.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
Just a normal guy. LL Bean type of just normal
just
dad.
Bears, Dockers. Yeah, like my favorite part is that he has his like trophy room, but it's like a hidden doorway because he doesn't want to show it off. He's like, I just have this hidden because my wife wants me to keep everything, but I want it. I'm like, I love that. God. You see so many other guys that they have it all like all thrown out at their house to show off their assets, and he's got this cheesy little closet hidden.
You have the comparison right there with him and Pat, and just like the vast difference in like their lifestyle. And I mean, Kirk's been in the league for much longer, and he's gotten a bag too, So, but it's just. That's the way that he chooses to live. And I love it. It's really cute. But Vikings, they let me down. But week one.
Yeah.
Looking at the league, looking at other games, like things didn't go as we expected just based on preseason. But nowadays, you don't really know what a team is going to look like until they actually step on the field for week 1 because they're not playing starters anymore. They're giving you this like vanilla offense. Yeah. So are we taking everything that we saw into week 1 or from week 1 into week 2 as just law? Like, for instance, the Niners beat the shit out of the Steelers. So the question is that Niners team just that fucking good, or was this just an absolutely horrible Steelers team?
I think that there's some occasions from week 1 that will be carried over. I think that unfortunately that will be the case for the Niners. Brittany, they could have me and you at quarterback and they'll still do something. That's just the benefits of the system, right? I think there's a few situations from week 1 like that one that's going to be carried over. I think the NFC North is going to be between probably Green Bay and Detroit. I would be, if I were a Bears fan and I seen a meme of somebody said under new ownership, do you know what that would do to me at night? I would lose sleep. Like, I think it's going to be, some things are just going to be like, it was a week 1 thing, jitters, rusty, but there's going to be a few of those things, those 2 that I named, that are going to carry over at least for a couple weeks, maybe for the rest of the season too.
What did you think about that Niners-Steeler game, Ryan?
Yeah, I think to your question, I think it's like both are true. I think the Niners are a really freaking good team. I know we hate saying it, but they're stacked at like every position. You look at O-line, running back, we can say what we want about Purdy, but he's definitely decent, and he's proven that. On defense, they're stacked at every level. But I think I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's one of the most I don't even know how he's still underrated. The dude's never had a losing season, but still doesn't get talked about like the Shanahans, the McVays, the others of the league. But I think the Steelers, for whatever reason, got way too much hype this offseason. A lot of people were picking them to win the North. They were like this new up-and-coming team. And, to me, they didn't do enough in the offseason to improve enough. Matt Canada as offensive coordinator has never like moved the needle for me and whatnot. So I think it was a little bull. And the Niners are a really good team, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. And they're obviously, we'll get to it later, but the Rams matchup's going to be tough for them. But I also think the Steelers are really not as good as people were hyping them up to be. So I think it kind of both played out kind of how I expected.
Okay.
Combination.
Yeah. I think I totally get what you're saying, Ryan. And I think also because there's a little bit of hype behind Pickens, not Pickett, Pickens.
Yeah.
Of course, TJ Watt, my apologies, is back. He had torn pec, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So there's those glimpses of hope for sure. But again, like you said, the Niners are that complete team. And I think that people were just a little bit too high on the Steelers. I
at least expected their defense to do something, though. You know what I mean? Like, they just could not get any pressure on Brock. And like that run game between CMC and Debo, just the way that they utilize those weapons like Swiss Army knives. And it makes me sick. And like, I have to say, because I get into it with Niners fans quite often, and I have to just talk that shit to them and let them know who the champions are. But I got into it with Niner fans, and I told them that I didn't think that they were top 3 in the league. And I said that they had a lot of defensive drop off, and, like with D'Amico leaving and just things like that. And I guess I said that. Okay. And I saw the Niners
this is before the game or after the game? Oh, before the game.
Oh, I said that before the season.
Okay.
And I mean, what I was really alluding to or trying to talk about was the fact that they don't have the same depth. You know what I mean? Like, even last year when their defense went down, like they played the Chiefs and the Chiefs hung 44 on them, like, so they're in that type of situation where they have all the guys, but all the guys got to stay in the place. They no dropping like flies or anything. But do I think that they are absolutely a stacked team? And does it just pain me to say that? Yeah, that's what it is. So,
I mean, this is their window, right? They just paid most, and they have like the highest contracts, and they got Brock Purdy obviously on a 7th round salary, so they have like 2 years,
$800,000 a year. I mean, they are doing it exactly the way that they're supposed to. I mean, taking a few pages from the Rams in terms of just kind of like the win now approach. You go after those players that are going to make it happen, plug in the pieces, the necessary pieces. And then they just moved, I think it was like 40 something million, like created that much cap space. And I'm over here thinking like, what the heck are they going to do with that type of money?
It's going to come back.
Yeah, but I
Hopefully,
agree.
let me just put this out there right now. I hope that they do not go after Brian Burns and tighten up that pass rush because it'll just be like, yeah.
I thought
I don't even want to just say really nice things about the Niners. It's not even, I can't even let it roll off my tongue. But just know that me being speechless means that I really want to say that they're good. They're stacked.
Yeah. I was like,
I have to go on a Niners podcast tomorrow night, so wish me luck.
Like voluntarily, or
yeah, we're previewing the Niners Rams game, so we do it every year. He's a super good guy. His name's Jesse. He has a Niners YouTube channel, so he's great. But yeah, I'm like, I got to talk about the Niners for an hour, so wish me luck.
I don't know about that. Do you want to talk about unexpected wins? Cough, cough.
Who didn't you expect to win that one?
I mean, girl, we can get straight into it.
We're talking about the obvious one or the...
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about the Rams in a minute, but last thing, which it was, I couldn't really watch too much of it because the game was on the same time as the Rams game. I'm obviously referring to the Chargers Miami game, which I heard was insane, like insane. And Ryan, the episode that you did where you filled in for P, you and I were talking just about like the AFC and like my dad taking the Chargers and how I still think that it's just so hard. You know, I like the Ravens. I thought that the Jets were going to be something. But then I was like, do not count out the Dolphins because Mike McDaniel is a freaking madman. Like just the offensive mind that he has. And then, yes, Vic on the other side now is just, I didn't catch the game, just highlights. So I'm sure Ryan probably saw more than we have. Is what did you take from that game, Ryan?
It was wild. Yeah. So I had
it was wild.
I had my laptop with the Chargers game on and the TV with the Rams game on. So I had both that I was able to. I got to cover it all. So
Yeah, we were like this, but
yeah. But no, I mean, it was a wild game. It was definitely not a good performance for the Chargers defensively, but it wasn't for the Dolphins either. I mean, they gave up 34 points. So it's always funny how people react, and it's like a win skews everything. Dolphins win, and it's like, wow, what a great win. Chargers lose, and it's like, man, they got to fire Staley. Their defense is in shambles. But it's like Vic Fangio, one of the greatest to ever do it. He also gave up 34 points, and the Chargers had over 230 yards rushing on the ground. So it was an interesting game. My biggest takeaway is, the defense definitely does need work. I mean, they couldn't stop Tyreek Hill from anything. Tyreek Hill is just that good. But a lot of that, what you alluded to, Britt, is Mike McDaniel's scheme was so good in getting Tyreek open in space. Like he was the crossing routes he had, the different stunts he was pulling and stuff. Tyreek Hill was just wide open over the middle. And when he's in space, he's the most dangerous man in the NFL. So that was good. I thought Tua played good. Obviously, his stats played great. 440 yards or whatever. He underthrew a lot of balls. He got bailed out by his receivers a lot, which is going to happen when you have the great receivers. But, he played fine. He played definitely good. The biggest thing, though, that I was disappointed in, besides the Chargers defense, and it's funny, I know you guys don't really cover the Chargers or do Chargers Twitter. Obviously, you're in Rams Twitter more. But the Chargers historically – and Chargers fans historically, and this is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they defend their quarterback no matter what. Phillip Rivers could do no wrong. Dude threw 4 picks. It wasn't his fault. Justin Herbert can do no wrong. You want to criticize Justin Herbert, they come with pitchforks for you. It was not Justin Herbert's fault at all that the Chargers lost, right? You gave up 36 points. It's the defense's fault. However, he got the ball back with 1:30 left and I believe 2 timeouts. All you need is a field goal. You're getting $52 million a year. You're considered a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. That is your time to shine and show you deserve not only the contract, but you deserve the praise as a top 3 quarterback. And he got sacked twice and they lose the ball game. I mean, the defense lost it, but I was waiting. That was Justin Herbert's moment,
right?
To put the team on his, he always puts the team on his back, but his moment to, in the biggest moment, drive down the field and win the game. Had plenty of time to do it. Had timeouts, had his weapons, has Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator. There's no more excuses. It's now time for him to kind of put up or shut up. Love the guy. I do think he's top 5, but that was the one thing I took away. What's that?
There is one excuse to me, though, but Charger fans may not. I don't know. I don't know how Charger fans feel about Staley. He was with us for a short stint, he had a really good defensive roster. So, like, obviously he looked successful. He got the head coaching job with the Chargers. But to me, he's not a good game manager. Like, I mean, just look at the games that they've lost. Like, and I think that in the last maybe few years, that's how it's been with the Chargers. Like, even with Tony Lynn when he was there, and like all the games that they've lost by like one score or less, and just like the dumb decisions that they've made at the end, like either like the stupid going for it on fourth downs or just like not doing enough. And yeah, so
I think those are just, I think he's one of the guys, especially those fourth down, like just like there's a little bit too much ego there. There's a little bit too much of the big cojones there. I think personally, I feel like, of course, rightfully so, especially after the way they lost last season. They feel like they have so much more to prove again. And it's like, and I agree with you, Ryan. If you were to go on my Twitter page and you search Justin Herbert or Herbie or Herb or Herbo, like you would see that I would defend this guy because I love him. I think he's like, I think he's one of a kind. I think that ceiling is, I can't even start, but I think that like this is it. This is really it. And I think it's it for obviously Staley. And I think that after this, unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say this, but there's just no more excuses. There's no more, he has no weapons anymore. There's no more it's just it, because we've seen guys do more with less. We've seen it time and time again. And this guy, he's at the peak of his career. So I think I agree with you. There's no excuses, at least not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Herbo.
Had the timeouts. And so, this is the year Staley, if he get, this is it. They need a deep run or he won't be around for year 4. I think he's adjusted well. I really love Brandon Staley. I think he's a great culture guy. I think he's a good, just human being.
For sure.
But
me too.
But the hard thing too is, and this is Kellen Moore's the OC.
Is he calling the offense though?
Yeah, he's got full range of the offense. So Staley's defense, and he has obviously he's the head coach. But the hard thing with this that I've talked to Chargers fans about is tough loss. Defense didn't look like it improved. But again, you're going up against arguably the best offense in football. Like, we knew this game was going to be fireworks. It's week 1. Right. If this happened in week 11 and it's like the defense is still looking this bad, then let's really talk. It's week 1. They've never played, like no starters played. And then you're all of a sudden your starters you're going up against are Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, all these different assets. So the biggest thing, the last thing, and then we can move on, is the Chargers pass rush was non-existent. Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are considered 2 of the best in the game. Nowhere to be found. So that is a real issue, and that's not coaching. That's just like, you got to want it more. I mean, the Dolphins were missing their starting left tackle, Tariq Armstead, and still no pressure. So that was my biggest thing on defense. Is like, where's these 2 superstars? Where are they doing?
Yeah. Definitely.
My dad is not happy. He doesn't want any L's this season.
They got the Titans this week, who have no offense. They'll be okay.
I saw that game. Like, I couldn't even watch. Like, you would lose years.
That was a tough one.
Talk about that game. That game was like that's just like a mid 2000s game right there. That was just straight like
for real. Like, how many 8 field goals? Like, I don't know why I thought that Derek Carr was gonna go to Noya and do something. Like, no.
They won.
Week one.
Before we get to the Rams, were we going to go to the Rams right now?
I was going to go to the Rams, but what are you about to talk about?
Okay, well, really quick before we get to the Rams, because I think we all agree every year they're overhyped. Every year they don't make it. I mean, what do you guys think of the Cowboys, though? They did blow the doors off the Giants.
We weren't even going to talk about them because Paula, that's how Paula is on this show. It's Cowboys next.
I'm with you guys.
The Cowboys have a hater in me, and they will forever. It's really not them. It's really not them. Do I wish I had Micah Parsons on my team? Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Why do you hate the Cowboys?
I think they're the best defense. I think they have the best defense in the National Football League right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Dan Quinn is not a head coach again is crazy. Like, they got so lucky that he
stuck around
the process and he's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's not controversial to say. For sure, they have the best defense, but they're gonna shit the bed. Death taxes. I just. Hey, as long as Jerry Jones has a heartbeat, that team is not gonna succeed. They need a true GM. That man will always. He's not gonna sit back and let somebody run it. That's just. It's not gonna happen. And I think that. Ryan, to answer your question, you asked me this earlier. It's not them who I hate. I actually have Tony Pollard in my like 2 of my leagues. It's their fan base. It's their fan base that I hate. Respectfully, they watch this. Majority of them only watch the Cowboys. That's okay. You know, a lot of people do that, but every year is their year. And I think everybody knows that's what they're known for. And I think that, they're just like, I get it though. Like they are literally like a just money printing machine for the league. I get it. They scale by or they skate by because they just generate so much money. They're just so marketable. I understand that, you know, but that doesn't win them games. So at least not when it matters the most.
Yep.
Defense is stacked. Like defense is, to me, it's the best defense in the league. And like, you can't discount that. Like Bones and special teams. Like I'm over here just give me Bones back. You know what I mean? Like, but my problem with the Cowboys is, and it has always been, is Dak Prescott. And I don't think that he's the quarterback that's going to get them over the hump. I mean,
I think it's Trey Lance.
What has he done?
Trey Lance. Nice jab there.
Sorry, had to.
Was it an impressive win? Of course. You go into, to MetLife and pretty much you smacked those boys. Like it was sad.
It was so weird because the Giants' first drive, they looked good. And then the field goal's blocked and that was it.
Yeah. And that's my kicker on my fantasy team. He got me -2 points. Thanks, Gano.
Gano gotta go.
Yeah. Gano gotta go.
And even then, right? Even
Gano
then
was a hoe.
They were carried by their defense, right? Like, I mean, let's just say the Giants literally didn't score anything. So I think
it makes things a lot easier when your offense doesn't have to go on the field to score points.
For sure. But it's also to your point though. Like, I mean, historically the Giants don't perform well against the Cowboys either though. But I think it's just also to your point, like that the heartbeat of that team to me is the defense. And I don't know. I mean,
but I think that they have a strong enough team, even with Dak, to carry them through the season. Like,
sure, but I don't think he's going to pull his weight. And I think that's the same too.
This says it enough, right? You win 40-0, and Dak Prescott has 140 yards passing.
That is the
no
exact
touchdowns.
thing that I said. That is
no touchdowns. Yeah,
and you win 40-0.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that is exactly what I said.
Must be
and
nice.
It's like you look at the NFC West. The NFC East is. I mean, it's competitive. You know what I mean? Like. You still have the Eagles that are going to try to make a run for it. The Giants, they looked absolutely terrible in terms of, play, like ability. Like, I'm like, who are these guys that are on the field? Like, they're not the Giants that we expected, like, to come out on the field that had been getting hyped up with the defense getting better, them, making moves. And
you got Waller,
getting Waller, getting the linebacker from the Cardinals, and just doing things with that team that you thought they were going to make a difference. Obviously, we didn't see that on Sunday, but I don't think that the road for the Cowboys is so easily paved out. Like this weekend, they're going to be playing the Jets now. Obviously, that's a deflated team because of the situation. They're going to be playing like that defense is. Oh my God, Zach Wilson, bless you, kid, bless you, but. Yeah. I don't think that it's going to just be an easy road for the Cowboys.
No, I don't. No. And I'm sorry, call me a hater all you want, but there's just no way. There's just no way.
This will be the season that they go undefeated, Paula. Watch, and we're going to have to get this play back. Like
I'll still stand on it. They're undefeated. I'll be by myself. Have you ever seen like that episode of like Rick and Morty where he's like, "I've seen what makes you cheer," and he's like by himself against everybody? That's going to be me. That's going to be me.
What? I've never
like,
seen Rick and Morty. That's fun.
Huh?
I've never seen that show.
Like Rick and Morty, where he's like, "Don't boo me. I see what makes you cheer," and he's literally by himself, like going against everybody. That's gonna be me if the Cowboys go undefeated.
That's gonna be you. So we need to make the meme or the GIF. Yeah.
Yeah.
They play the Chargers and Rams in back-to-back games. They won't go undefeated. They're losing one of those.
They got to, right?
That's the energy.
They ain't beating both LA teams back-to-back.
They play us like Halloween weekend or something.
Yeah. They play the Chargers, and I think they have a bye, and then they play the Rams.
Yeah.
Of course, they get the Rams off a bye. But speaking of the Rams, take it away.
Finally. Gosh.
Listen.
Okay, wait.
Don't call it a tank. Let's just start there. Because
who's been calling it a tank?
How many episodes have we done? What'd you say?
Dude.
Who's been calling it a tank?
Dude.
So last episode, I had to even ask Paula again. I'm like, is this a tank? And she's just like, this is like a rebuild type of thing. We have to accept it. And I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to accept that. We have a man, and his name is Sean McVay. And there's absolutely no reason as to why I'll ever think that he's not scheming something up. You know what I mean? He's never not thinking. He's never not working or strategizing or just like having his wheels turn in his mind. And then there's also a man named Aaron Donald who plays on the team, who linked up, with Sean. Defense has never been the same. Matthew Stafford is on the team. Cooper Kupp is on the team. Like, those are guys. I just didn't see this as a tanking season. But if you ask Rams Twitter, and you didn't hear that, Ryan, like everybody was saying that we were going to be absolutely horrible. This must be a tank year for us. And
I don't listen to Rams Twitter.
Expectation.
Okay, there it is.
I don't listen to Rams Twitter.
There it is. He said, "I'm a girl."
You probably have a really good
I watch football. I don't watch Twitter.
I look. I think that we talked about this, right? When were they going to go full on tank? No, maybe they were going to win a game or two more than last season. Probably, for those same reasons that you listed. I think that there's just too much talent in those core pieces that they're not just going to lay down and just lose because we want Caleb. Like, no. And yes, Ryan, according to Rams Twitter, the Rams are going full on tank for Caleb.
Yeah, no, I did see it.
But not even just that, though. It wasn't even just the tank thing that bothered me. It was just like the absolute low expectations. When we hadn't seen anything. It was just unproven talent. And I said that in a couple episodes. I've told people that on Twitter, and it's like, yeah, on paper, because these guys are rookies, because it's a lot of just like unproven kids that we essentially have on the team. Yeah, we're counted out. But McVay was saying it a lot in training camp that, we're going to be surprised by this group of guys and like how hard they're working. And I kept bringing that up, and I'm like, I feel it. I want to run through a wall for McVay. So he makes me believe. And like, I don't feel like he's the type of coach that's going to be blowing that type of smoke. Like, if we're asked, like, he's like, that's what it is. But the competitive edge is always going to be there as long as we have him at the helm. And this weekend proved that. Like, it proved that he is a great coach. It proved that he is, just so great at scheming things up. Because, like, obviously from what we saw, he had been in the lab, and it was just like a completely refreshing Rams team based on all the bullshit that we were hearing going into the season and how nobody even counted us in. It was better than expected, and it just, like, I feel so good. We can talk about everything that happened in the game, but I feel great.
Mm-hmm.
But I got 3 points, and I'll try to go quick, so I'm not just like hogging the mic. But one, on McVay, that was like an absolute masterclass in that game. What he was able to do, and not just McVay. I mean, the most hated coach in all of, I think, fandom is Raheem Morris, and what 8 yards in the second half or whatever it was. Like, shout out Raheem Morris, like, unbelievable performance what he did. Just an absolute masterclass. So point one, like, the coaching staff deserves all the credit. The offensive line balled out, which everyone was so concerned about them. Again, it's week 1. Next week's going to be a different test against that defensive line in San Francisco. But let's take the good right now with that. And the offensive line looked a lot better. So shout out Ryan Wendell, who got those guys ready. Shout out the receivers without Cooper Kupp, who balled out. Puka Nacua, obviously, and Tutu Atwell has been taking shit for the 2 years he's been here, 3 years now. And all those, just the preparation looked unreal. So that was point 1. Point 2, and I can't remember if we talked about this on Radio Row or just together when we've been together, or I've just talked about it with others, but the Rams season last year, there was two different time periods. There was pre-Baker and post-Baker, right? Pre-Baker, the team obviously was losing, the injuries were mounting up, but it just looked like a slog. Like, it looked like no one wanted to be there. McVay was obviously, it was hurting him to even try to lead and put in the hours. And he was questioning, do I want to just be a family man or be in the booth or this? And then post Baker, they still go 2-3, but there was some joy brought back. You saw the sideline, you saw McVay throwing the fist pumps again, getting fired up. There was some joy brought back. And I think that spilled over to this offseason. And then we saw up in Seattle at Lumen Field. And that's the most fun I've seen McVay have overall since 2017 when he was first head coach at 30 years old. He was fired up, calling players out, calling out DK Metcalf, cheering on his guys, running out on the field after a touchdown. The joy was brought back, which is so important in this beautiful game of football. And then 3, just going back to Rams Twitter, who I know I talk shit. I love Rams Twitter. Obviously they've given me a platform of what we've been able to create here at LAFB, but I thought it was so funny how I did obviously see all year everyone saying we were tanking and the Rams were tanking, and it was so funny. That was the expectation. And then after 2 drives, Seattle scores a touchdown and a field goal. Those same people, this is terrible, fire everyone. I'm like, you guys have been saying it all offseason. This is the expectation. You guys should know this was happening. And then obviously the Rams turned it around. It was great.
Like clockwork. You already knew. And I knew, I had a scheduled tweet basically ready to go. Y'all throwing in the towel, right? Because that's what you guys do. Down a score.
At halftime, it was 1 score.
One score. We were down 6.
I think I responded to you on Twitter. I was pleased by the first half. Going into this game, my expectations were, hey, we're going to compete, but I don't think we have, are we going to win? I don't know, but I think we're going to compete, and they competed the hell out of it.
But we're in it. Exactly. I thought that it was such a good game. Just the way that we started out with that just sustained long extended play drive, to get downfield, wore out their defense, and it showed that Stafford is back. He looks so poised. I had tweeted out that he said that this is the healthiest that he's been. Yeah, you looked it. And the feeling, joy and health, that's top tier, having those two and just feeling good about your body and feeling good about work. That really, really showed on the field. And the connection, whoever printed the faces and the names for Matthew, that was the MVP of the game, because they got the connection together, and it was really good to see. It was good to see.
Before I pose my next question, P, do you want to vent at all about that?
I think that I think to your point, Ryan, I think my biggest takeaway is the O-line. Everybody's showing Stafford throwing those tight windows like Stafford knows how to do. I think somebody said an upright Stafford is a good Stafford, and before that, he wouldn't have time to get to those reads. He had less. There's no way he had time before this. And I think that just the fact that we were able to keep this man upright for me was huge. That line was just, I was just what is this? Obviously, there's some kinks we got to work out. I understand that. Of course, we're going to probably face the toughest test. Of course, it's going to be the Niners. We're going to face that defensive line. But for me personally, Stafford doesn't throw those tight windows if he doesn't have that protection. He was upright, for the most part. I think he got sacked once or twice, but other than that, he was comfortable in that pocket. That is just, this man's neck was falling apart in New Orleans, after New Orleans. So it's I think that for me, my biggest takeaway for sure was the line, but I'm very proud of that defense. Like you said, they scored 13 points and that was it, So there's definitely some highlights there, but I'm just really, really I'm looking forward to what we can do. I don't think this was a fluke. I don't think this was a fluke
either.
Because we all know
what good.
Yeah,
just did things that we didn't do before.
You wouldn't even think that his wife came out and said that he didn't even know their names or whatever the drama was. You would think that he was playing with these guys for a couple seasons. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I was like, holy. And then the cherry on top, seeing him do that video where it says whatever the outside world thinks, they don't have a fucking clue. I was like, inject that in my veins. Inject that in my veins. And good for him. You know,
have a fucking clue. I loved it.
Yeah, because who to lead a team?
Are we making that shirt? Are we making that shirt?
We need the shirt. We need the shirt ASAP. ASAP Puka. What do you mean?
I like that. I like
that. I need that shirt.
That Rams team
with
and
his big shiny teeth.
I know, the new teeth. The new teeth. For real.
That's why I can't connect. The damn chompers.
They're like blinded.
Him and AD, they both have new grills. Looking nice. Looking nice.
That's the Super Bowl money.
You know what? I immediately, we've talked about this a lot because we were together when it happened, but I immediately thought of the dudes we met at the media party out in Phoenix at the Super Bowl. And I'm like, this is the 19th best quarterback in the NFL. You're saying? This is the 19th best?
Wait. I've been waiting. I said it's only week 1. I can't say anything to that man yet, but just wait, because he definitely said that not only was Dak Prescott better than Matthew Stafford, but Dak Prescott was a top 10 quarterback. So I'm going to be on his ass. I don't even remember his name. It's like, no, it was like Adam, but I don't remember his last name. Adam, find his ass. I know you know him, Ryan.
I'll find him for you. I'll send you his way.
Thank you.
But I immediately thought, I'm like, this guy better be watching. He talked a lot of shit on LA and Matthew Stafford.
He was talking that big. He was like, is he even okay? Does he have a handicap sign? Like, he's old and he's just, don't disrespect my QB like that, especially when he goes out and balls like that. Like, the offense was just something that I've always dreamed of. And like, I think that it was not a lot, but you can see that there was probably a lot of input from Mike LaFleur, just like they collabed on a lot of things. And like the way that we use Tutu and just like the motion behind the line and then just getting him to be able to break away and just get all that space and just the things that we're going to be able to do in that offense if we continue to do things like that.
Well, here's the best. Do you know how many times they ran the ball?
How many times?
37 times.
I was going to say 39. I was going to say 39. But we needed that.
All along, McVay offense, you run it 30 times, you have a good shot to win.
Yeah. That's what's going to get that pass going. Got the pass open up. We were running the ball. We were moving the ball nicely. Like, Kyron looked really, really good. You know, like he's springy and like his extra little power steps that he takes get some extra yards. And I mean, Cam, to me, and I said this to people before, like he's kind of, I mean, he had an injury, granted. So he's different. He's not the same Cam. But his vision to me isn't the best. Like, obviously we're watching a screen, so we can see from a drone angle, the holes and things like that. But as a back, especially as like a power back, I need you to be able to see those gaps and be able to go through them, because it is like he's just following the block. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe the design is to follow the blockers, but if you got a hole, you got to take the hole.
Yeah.
And I see that. And I mean, I like that how they split and they were in like the pass pro quite a bit more. So like Kyron was getting a lot more of the snaps, but the offense was beautiful. Can you guys imagine with Cooper Kupp plugged in?
Yeah, that's gonna. And
shout out to the defense too, because that defense, the secondary that DK said that he couldn't name anybody in. Yeah, okay, you know him now.
So frustrated.
He had 3 catches. He had 3 catches.
You know him now, buddy, with those 47 yards, got locked up, and it truly, like, it felt so good to win that way, to win by 17. Like, it was not 30-24, not 30-27. Like, we smashed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we also, I mean, you know, I always got to keep it 100. And I think I love his story. I love his comeback. I love who he is as a person. But I mean, Geno Smith isn't that guy. I don't know why all of a sudden.
I thought this was Seattle.
People are saying he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I'm like, no. what?
No.
Are we watching the same
No.
quarterback? So love this win, but Geno didn't exactly shine. And part of that's the defense, but part of that it's Geno Smith. I mean, let's be real.
Right. I think, yeah. And rightfully so, right? The comeback story from last season, he ain't right back, whatever it was. I think that this is the season they're gonna come back down to earth. Although
I said Seattle was gonna have the division. I thought that they did so well in the drafts last couple of years. You know, like they have a lot of just good energy going there. And I just, but the Niners are just smash mouth football, physical. They are always competitors, and yeah, this is the window. So
P, you know where they messed up? You know where they messed up the most, P?
Talk to me.
You draft Zach Charbonnet and you run him 2 times?
I knew you were going.
Deserve to lose.
Yeah. No, I actually, that's one thing that I was actually watching closely. Also Jake Bobo, they had Jake Bobo out there doing what Jake Bobo does, not just looking for the ball, but just blocking as well. That's why we love Jake Bobo. But I did see that. Zach, by the way, I have Zach in fantasy. That was one of my goals. And I was tracking that. I think that they need to split those two. I definitely think that Zach needs to get involved. And once he does, he's going to be happy that he did. I think they'll do it. And also, I did see today, not that it makes a difference, but, we're talking about the offense. Jason Peters, I believe they were either working him out or they signed him, I believe, as of today. Jason Peters is old, but, hey, I think they were just like, hey, whatever we got to do. If the Rams did that to us, we need to get Geno some protection. I don't know, but it is Jason Peters at the end of the day. But I did see that, I believe, today. So that's important to know.
People are saying that's the thing that I don't like, though, because people are like, it is Geno Smith. But Kenneth Walker, I expected him to run down our throats. Sure, yeah, because, we don't have the best run defense. But we held so strong. Ernest Jones was a freaking beast. Him as the signal caller, when I was watching the game back, just seeing how focused he is, he's matured so much and he has stepped up, to this moment. And it feels good to know that you have Aaron Donald up front, you have Ernest in the middle, and then Jordan Fuller back there. He played really well too. He came up to the box, he made a lot of good little hits, not little hits, but I'm just really excited because this is the defense that people were like, this is nobody. They're nobodies.
And you know what? I wanted to
kids, and they carried their weight. Kendrick got cooked on a play, and he got a flag, but he came back. He started talking his shit, and he was playing like a CB1 is supposed to.
Yeah, I almost want them to keep continuing to say these guys are unproven, some of them, right? But I said I want them to keep thinking that these guys are nobodies. That's okay. The thing is, though, it's they're gonna fuel them, right? And of course, these guys have a lot to prove. Ernest Jones has stepped up in the biggest moments. That's not one of the guys that has a lot to prove. Of course, not Aaron Donald, but I almost want to keep flying under this radar because, again, I came into this season, full confession, on Sunday. I was like, look, I'm gonna rep this. I'm gonna put my Rams gear on, but I have no expectations. That's the best way to go. Do I think we're just going to lay down and take it? No, but I don't know if we're going to win. You know what I mean? Of course, and rightfully so. But I almost want us to continue flying under this radar just because it's all right, cool. No expectations, but watch this. Right. Noted. So I think there's a lot of things to look forward to. I think we haven't talked about Puka enough, but Puka's been talked about a lot from what I've watched. On Sleeper, he is the top. He is the top on the waiver wire. He has I checked last night. He was trending upward. Usually, for Sleeper, it has the amount of, I believe, of inquiries on the wire. It was in the millions. I checked before hopping on right now. It's at 2.8 million. Everybody else is in the 100,000s, 200,000, 800,000. So he's gone. I've seen from Pat McAfee show everywhere. I've seen I think there's not enough we could say about Puka, but I mean, it's just, this guy's a rookie. What are we doing?
He's a rookie. He was a draft steal. He's a nice, he's a bigger size body. I didn't think that he was that big, but he has good feet. man.
When they drafted him, I comped him to Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, somebody called him Cooper Nakua.
Koopa Nakoopa, like or something like that. It was so
I feel like Cooper Nakua,
so
and I was
funny.
cracking up.
My Halloween costume, I'm not even gonna tell you guys what my Halloween costume is, but it has to do with Puka Nakua. Unless he starts playing like garbage. No, I'm just kidding. But
nah, there's no
to be continued for my Halloween costume, but it's gonna be funny. Big test though this weekend, guys. Litmus test against the Niners. Shanahan has McVay's number. What are your expectations going to SoFi on Sunday? We have a few minutes and we can talk about that and wrap it up. We didn't even talk about Aaron Rodgers. Well, just real quick, so sad. Like,
yeah,
I woke up today and it was just like a somber thing. Like everybody knows it's terrible. Sorry, Jets. It's Zach Wilson's team now, but yeah.
Do you guys want to laugh really quick? My girlfriend came over yesterday after work and we went to go get wings. We were watching the game, whatever. I went to go get her. And when I went to go get her was when I seen, of course, our boy, Leonard Floyd. I was like, I saw, she was like, I'm outside. So I looked at the screen. I was like, oh, Leonard Floyd. Not realizing when I came back upstairs from getting my friend, I'm like, oh my God.
That was the play.
That was the play.
And you know what? It's so sad because like I saw after the game, they were just showing the playback a lot. And then they were talking about the offensive line play and they were talking about the technique, like the cut block and how they were trying to go after the DN and like the play before that, the DN or the O linemen were on the floor. And then the play where he actually got taken down, he missed his cut block. But if you look back at the play, you can see exactly what Aaron Rodgers was looking at. And he was waiting for, like, the deep ball was going to be open. And I just, like, it's just the most horrible feeling to know how high the expectations were. Like, the entire NFL just storyline from Hard Knocks to the season to, like, everything. It was Aaron Rodgers. Like, the script was Aaron Rodgers. Like, they were going to make the most money. The primetime games, they had, like, 5. And to see their season go down the drain in 4 plays, like, and the expectations for Jets fans, like, oh my gosh. Sorry, Jets fans. Sorry.
I don't know who they got writing the script, but I was just like, there's no way it's over. Like, there's just no way. They're saying he can come back. I mean, he's already 40, about to be 40.
Get well soon. Hopefully he goes to the 5-day dark place, does like some meditation, has some shrooms from the Mexican the mountains, where he was with the shaman.
Maybe he'll be back week 16. Like, who knows?
Right? Right? Who knows?
The alternative healing method is
he's
like
got some like
super fast paced.
Some like ivermectin on it and
there you go.
All that stuff. And you never know.
Put that on the Achilles.
This isn't Contagion, like.
But I mean, I guess they ended it on a great note, right? Xavier Gibson just running it back. Like, what?
I'm glad that they got the win.
Well, I mean, that defense is legit. So
yes.
If Zach Wilson can even be competent, they'll still be like a contender. They'll still be a contender if he can just be competent.
Because they did exactly what the Rams did. They said, we have everything that we need. Well, the Rams didn't have everything in the beginning. Like, the Rams knew that they were there. Because remember, we made the acquisition for Vaughn and OBJ like in the season. Yeah. But we had all of our pieces. And McVay in the offseason was like, I know exactly what I need to get me there. It's Matthew Stafford. And the fact that Matthew Stafford came in and did it in that first year is absolutely incredible. Like, I was telling Deontay this. I was like, Sean McVay is like my husband. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, like, you just have to understand. It's because I love Sean McVay so much. And like, his football mind is just so sexy to me. But there are just so many things that he does that gets on my nerves. Like, when he doesn't do things that I want him to do, like, obviously he's not going to run the plays that I want.
Sounds like every husband.
Yeah.
That is yes. So he is truly like that's how I feel. Like he's my husband, but he is incredible. And I feel bad for the Jets because they tried to do what we did, and they had it. After seeing that defense, it's like, what else did you need? But yeah.
So
hey, the Broncos won a Super Bowl in 2015 with Peyton Manning injured and Brock Osweiler. So Jets can maybe, you never know. With that defense, you never know.
How many games did Brock Osweiler play?
7. Not 16.
18 is what Zach's gonna have to do. 17.
But Peyton Manning was also horrible that year. So, but he was still Peyton Manning. Still paid Manning, but he was it's pretty bad.
Well, we're going into Niner week. I know you have to get off, P, but real quick, what are your expectations going into the game? We're 8.5-point dogs at home.
Damn, 8.5, huh? Okay.
8.5. Yeah.
I'm gonna ride this out for probably till week 7. Just FYI, guys. I'm just gonna go to no expectations whatsoever. If fuck it, we ball was a person, that is me right now. So I think that we couldn't have ended on a better note. And I think that coming into this, I also think that the fact that it's Brock Purdy gives me a little bit more comfort. And it's not Jimmy G. Jimmy G didn't lose a single game against us in his whole career as a Niner. So, well, except for, but
the one that mattered.
Exactly.
The one that mattered. He lost one. Yeah.
Any regular season game, I guess I could correct myself. But I think the fact that it's Brock Purdy gives me a little bit of comfort. I think it's going to be 27-24. Repeat.
Yeah. Niners?
Close.
No,
so
Rams.
It's going to be close.
Rams, okay.
I think it's to be close. I think it's going to be close, and I think it's not going to be hopefully, this is what I think. Because, we experienced this week 18, and we're how we go shoot out the cannon, firing, and then we die second half. I think it's actually going to be just a little bit more steady.
Okay.
So, 27-24. Ryan?
Okay. So I'm going to, I'm just going to give you my little point first. And I don't know if we're going to win, right? I hope so. I really think that right now where we are just with our energy, with the mindset, because before we hopped on, when I was driving home, I started listening to 11 Personnel, and I listened to the very beginning of it. And Jordan was talking to Rich, and she was saying that if you told this team did not believe that they were going to lose. If you told them that they were going to lose, they didn't believe it, because that's what the energy felt like with her being in the locker room and her being around them, and just everything that had been going on that she knew that she couldn't really talk about, in OTAs and camp and just things like that. And how she saw how persistent this team was, and how hard that they've been working, and all the extra conditioning that they've been doing, and how McVay's been running these extra long plays so that, when they did run that or have the extended drive, the first drive of the game, they were used to it. They weren't gassed, and they were playing all these, or not playing, but doing just extra things to help their bodies go through the conditioning that they need. And the morale is completely different. Like you mentioned it earlier, Ryan, just last season with Baker, the highs and the lows and just the roller coaster of emotions. Now going into the season, and I can see it and feel it, they are playing, they are ready. And if they go into this Niner game with that same energy times 2, because it's the Niners and we hate the Niners and everybody knows that, then I really think that we have a fucking shot. Just play smart football. I don't think that Stafford is going to get the same amount of time that he got against the Seahawks. But if we run the ball like we did, we'll open the pass up. And do I think that our receivers can outplay their secondary? Yeah. Now, defensively, I think that it's going to be tough to contain Debo, to contain CMC. But you best believe Sean is watching the tape on Brock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the moment that they stepped off the field from the Seahawks, it's like probably pull it up, studying it. And I really think that we're going to go out there and just compete. Especially we play our best when we're counted out. And this is at the crib. Don't sell your tickets, people. Don't sell your fucking tickets. I'll be at SoFi on Sunday, and I really am hopeful. We just have to play smart football because they're going to play smash mouth football. They're going to run the ball. They're going to just keep going at our throats, and then they're going to have Brock do what Brock does in the system. But if we can go after Brock. If Aaron Donald can say, "Hello, Brock, nice to meet you," or "Nice to see you again, I'm Aaron Donald," then I think that'll give us a little bit of leverage. Yeah. Ryan, the finale. No,
I was actually going to kind of say exactly what you said when you alluded to George's podcast is, this team kind of has that, like, don't give a fuck mentality where every team should have that. But when you've been in the league a long time and you have a lot of vets, it's like and I don't want this to come out wrong, but you have like a respect factor for teams, especially when you've lost to them, and that kind of creeps into your mentality. And I think now the fact that you literally have like 5 returning players from last year, like none of the other guys give a shit because they're like, well, we never played the Niners. Like,
right. We don't
know them from Adam. They know, but AD is like, fuck the Niners. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah. So you have your leaders that have been in that situation and want nothing more to beat them. But the other 20 or the other, 15 starters are like, well, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to go out and ball out. I don't care who the Debo is. I don't care who these guys are. I've never played against him. So sometimes that attitude, like, it reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, the great movie Miracle, that Herb Brooks speech before they played Russia. And it's like, we play Russia 10 times. They might beat us 9 times, but not today. Not today. Like, that's the mentality, is like, where they're just like, hey, not today are they going to beat us. So I agree. Like, if you would ask me.
It's personal.
Yeah, there you go.
It's personal.
Dion there. If you're going Dion there.
Time. It's personal. So that is how I feel too.
Yeah. You asked me 10 days ago, I would have picked the Niners in this game. I think now I'm leaning. It's going to be very close, very competitive.
Give me a number.
I'll go 30. I'll go 31-27 Rams.
31-27 Rams. Okay.
I'm going to go 26-17 Rams.
Okay.
Random.
Clean sweep.
26 is random, but
yeah.
Go Rams.
The clean sweep on the Rams.
Hopefully by the time
have fun tomorrow talking to that Niner fan, Ryan.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, we'll see what he thinks if I I could change what are we, Tuesday right now? So we'll see how I feel tomorrow. We'll see how I feel Thursday. We'll see how I feel Friday. Could change a lot. So right now I feel good about the Rams.
So yeah, this is Talking Sporting. Actually, we also want to quickly mention, right, Brittany, that instead of Thursdays, we did mention previously we would be on Thursdays, but today's Tuesday, like Ryan said, so we will most likely be from Thursdays to Tuesdays, and just recapping everything that happened over the weekend. So we're looking forward to next week, and hopefully we'll be just as
talking sporty.
Brittany Bets and P.
T-shirt, flannel, no coats. A party ain't a party if my nigga can't smoke. Here we go. Let me make a toast to baby over there, 'cause you know I wanna poke. No, I don't.